The phone vibrated on the nightstand, its buzz slicing through the silence of our darkened bedroom like a blade. I stared at the screen, her name glowing in stark white letters, Claire. My thumb hovered, trembling, as the clock blinked 2:47 a.m. She hadn't come home. Again. The air felt heavy, thick with the sour tang of my own sweat, and the bourbon I'd sipped to dull the ache. I didn't answer. Instead, I stumbled to the front door, my bare feet cold against the hardwood, and turned the deadbolt with a deliberate click. She wasn't getting in. Not tonight. Not after I saw her laughing with him, his hand grazing her wrist, her head tilting back in a way I hadn't seen in years. Our house, once a haven of shared dreams, now felt like a mausoleum. The living room was a mess of shadows, the couch sagging under the weight of unspoken arguments. I sank into it, clutching my phone, replaying the scene from earlier. The bar was dimly lit, all clinking glasses and low murmurs, but Claire's voice had cut through the noise. She was at a corner table with him, some guy from her office, all sharp jawline and easy charm. I'd only gone to drop off her scarf, the one she'd left in the car. I didn't expect to see her leaning into him, her fingers brushing his sleeve, her smile too bright, too unguarded. I'd frozen in the doorway, invisible, my heart hammering so loud I thought the bartender might hear it. I left before she saw me, the scarf still draped over my arm like a noose. Now sitting in the dark, I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was nothing. A work thing. A friendly drink. But the memory of her laugh, free, unguarded, the kind she used to save for me, gnawed at my gut. My phone buzzed again. Another call. Claire. I let it ring out, each vibration a tiny accusation. The bourbon bottle sat on the coffee table, half empty, its amber glow catching the moonlight. I poured another glass, the liquid burning my throat, but it couldn't drown the questions. Why was she still out? Why him? Why did it feel like my entire world was unraveling with every unanswered call? The first hint had come months ago, subtle enough to dismiss. She'd started staying late at work, claiming deadlines. Her tone clipped when I asked for details. "It's just work, Tom," she'd said, her eyes darting away. I'd believed her because I wanted to, because the alternative was too heavy to carry. Then there were the texts, her phone lighting up at odd hours, her fingers quick to swipe them away. "Just a group chat," she'd mutter, but her smile was tight, like she was holding her breath. I'd told myself it was stress. Her job was demanding. I was being paranoid. But tonight, seeing her with him, the pieces clicked together like a puzzle I didn't want to solve. I stood, pacing the room, the floorboards creaking under my weight. The walls were lined with photos. Our wedding, her in that white dress, me grinning like I'd won the universe. A camping trip where we'd burned marshmallows and laughed until dawn. Each frame mocked me now. A gallery of a life I thought was ours. My chest tightened, a mix of rage and grief clawing at my ribs. I wanted to call her back, to scream, to demand answers. But what if she lied again? What if she didn't? The phone rang a third time. I answered this time, my voice rough, barely a whisper. "Where are you, Tom?" Her voice was soft, slurred, threaded with something. Guilt? Panic? "I'm outside. I forgot my key. Can you let me in?" I gripped the phone, my knuckles white. Outside. She was here. My eyes flicked to the deadbolt, still locked. "You're drunk," I said, not a question. A pause. Then a nervous laugh. "Maybe a little. It was a long night. Work stuff. You know how it is." Work stuff. The words landed like a slap. I saw her again, leaning into him, her hand on his arm. "Who were you with, Claire?" Another pause, longer this time. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows. "Just people from the office." "Why are you asking like that?" I swallowed, my throat dry despite the bourbon. "I saw you. At the bar. With him." Silence. It stretched so long I thought the call had dropped. Then a shaky breath. "Tom, it's not what you think. Can you just open the door? Please." My legs carried me to the window before I could stop myself. I parted the curtains, peering into the night. There she was, standing on the porch, her silhouette illuminated by the streetlight. Her hair was mussed, her coat unbuttoned, her phone pressed to her ear. She looked small, vulnerable, but all I could see was her laugh, her touch, the way she'd looked at him. My hand hovered over the deadbolt. I didn't move. Tom. Her voice cracked. I'm freezing out here. Let me in. Why were you with him? I asked, my voice low, steady, though my heart was pounding. Why did you look at him like that? Like what? She snapped, defensive now. You're being ridiculous. It was just drinks. You're blowing this out of proportion. Am I? I pressed my forehead against the cold glass, watching her shift on the porch. You haven't laughed like that with me in years. She didn't respond right away. I could hear her breathing, quick and uneven. Tom, please, she said finally, softer. I'm tired. I just want to come inside and talk. But I couldn't move. My body felt anchored, heavy with the weight of her words, her silences, the truth I didn't want to face. Who is he? I asked, my voice breaking. Nobody, she said too quickly. Just a coworker. Tom, you're scaring me. Open the door. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. But the image of her hand on his arm burned behind my eyes, and every excuse she'd ever given me echoed in my head. The late nights. The texts. The distance growing between us like a slow poison. I unlocked the door but didn't open it. Tell me the truth, I said. Or you're staying out there. Tom, don't do this. Her voice was pleading now, edged with something raw. I love you. You know that. Do I? The words slipped out, sharp and bitter. I opened the door, just a crack, enough to see her face. Her mascara was smudged, her eyes wide, glistening. She looked like the woman I'd married, but also like a stranger. Then why were you with him? Why did it look like you were happier with him than you've ever been with me? She stepped forward, reaching for the door, but I held it firm. It's not like that, she said, her voice trembling. He's just easy to talk to. He listens. I didn't mean for it to look like anything. Didn't mean for what? I snapped, my grip tightening on the door. What's going on, Claire? Tell me. She looked away, her hands twisting together. The streetlight cast harsh shadows across her face, highlighting the lines of worry, of guilt. Nothing's going on, she whispered, but her voice lacked conviction. I swear. Then why can't you look at me? I stepped back, letting the door swing open, but I didn't move to let her in. The cold air rushed inside, chilling my skin. What aren't you telling me? Her eyes met mine, and for a moment I saw it, fear, shame, and something deeper, something that broke me. I kissed him, she said so quietly I almost missed it. It was a mistake. It didn't mean anything. The world tilted. My breath caught, sharp and painful, like glass in my lungs. A mistake, I repeated, the word tasting like ash. You kissed him. I was drunk, she said, stepping closer, her hands outstretched. It was stupid. I'm sorry, Tom. I love you. It won't happen again. I backed away, my vision blurring. The room spun, the photos on the walls blurring into a kaleidoscope of memories. Her apologies echoed, hollow, meaningless. I saw her laugh again, her hand on his arm, and now the image of her lips on his, her body close to his. My knees buckled, and I gripped the doorframe to stay upright. Get out, I said, my voice barely audible. Tom, please. Get out. I roared, the sound tearing from my chest. She flinched, her face crumpling, but I didn't care. The betrayal was a living thing, clawing at me, and all I could see was her with him, her lies, her excuses. I slammed the door, the sound echoing like a gunshot, and locked it again. Her sobs came through the wood, muffled but piercing. Tom, I'm sorry, she cried. Please, let's talk. I love you. I slid to the floor, my back against the door, my head in my hands. The bourbon bottle glinted in the moonlight, but I didn't reach for it. I didn't need it anymore. The pain was enough, raw and consuming, burning away everything I thought I knew about us. My phone buzzed again, her name flashing, but I didn't answer. I couldn't. Not yet. Outside, her footsteps faded, the sound of her car engine starting a final, shattering note. I sat there, in the dark, surrounded by the ghosts of our life together, wondering how I'd missed the moment it all began to unravel.